Welcome to the series of mini lectures in M02, Fundamental Principles of Assessment. My name is Ling, and today I will walk you through 3 videos, which cover 3 main aspects of language assessment principle. They are mini lectures note 1, Assessment Principle, mini lectures 2, Applying Principles to the Evaluation of Classroom Tests, and mini lecture 3, what can be done to develop a valid and reliable test. Now, let's start with the first mini lectures in this series, 5 assessment principles. How do you know if a test is effective, appropriate, useful, or in down-to-earth terms, a good test? For the most part, that question can be answered by responding to such questions as: can it be given within appropriate administrative constraints? Is it dependable? Does it accurately measure what you want it to measure? Is the language in the test representative of real-world language use? Does the test provide information that is useful for the learners? These questions help to identify 5 cardinal criteria for testing a test: practicality, reliability, validity, authenticity, and watchback. We will look at each one here. However, because all 5 principles are context-dependent, there is no priority order implied in the orders of presentation. According to Brown in 2010, there are 5 major principles of language assessment, namely practicality, reliability, validity, authenticity, and watchback. First of all, in terms of practicality, it refers to the logistical, down-to-earth, administrative issue involved in making, giving, and scoring an assessment instrument. These include cost, the amount of time it takes to construct and to administer, ease of scoring, and ease of interpreting or reporting the result, according to Mosevi in 2009. A test failed to meet such criteria is impractical. Consider the following attribute of practicality. A practical test stays within budgetary limits, can be completed by the test taker within appropriate time constraints, has clear direction for administrations, appropriately utilizes available human resources, does not exceed available material resources. Consider the times and effort involved for both design and scoring. Secondly, speaking of reliability, a reliable test is something consistent and dependable. If you give the same test to the same student or match student on 2 different occasions, the test should yield similar results. We might calculate the principle of reliability in the following. A reliable test is consistent in its condition across 2 or more administrations, gives clear directions for scoring or evaluations, has uniform rubrics for scoring or evaluations, lends itself to consistent application of those rubrics by the scorers, contain items or tasks that are unambiguous to the test taker. There are 4 main types of reliability: student-related reliability, rater reliability. In this, we have 2 subtypes, which are inter-rater reliability and intra-rater reliability, test administration reliability, and test reliability. Student-related reliability. The most common learner-related issue in reliability is caused by temporary illness, fatigue, a bad day, anxiety, and other physical or psychological factors, which may make an observed score deviate from one's true score. Also included in this category are such factors as a test taker's test weakness or strategies for efficient test taking, according to Mosevi in 2009. For the classroom teachers, student-related unreliability may at first blush seems to be a factor beyond control. We are accustomed to simply expecting some students to be anxious or overly nervous to the point that they joke in a test administration context. But the experience of many teachers suggests otherwise. Rater reliability has been divided into inter-rater reliability and intra-rater reliability. Inter-rater reliability occurs when two or more scorers yield consistent score of the same test. Failure to achieve intra-rater reliability could stem from lack of adherence to the scoring criteria, inexperience, inattention, or even preconceived biases. Meanwhile, intra-rater reliability is an internal factor, a common occurrence of classroom teachers. Violation of such reliability can occur in cases of unclear scoring criteria, fatigue, bias toward particular good and bad students, or simple carelessness. Test administration unreliability may come from room conditions, photocopying variations, the amount supplied, variations in temperatures, and even the condition of desks and chairs. Test reliability refers to the consistency of scores students would receive on alternate forms of the same test. In classroom-based assessment, test unreliability can be caused by many factors, including rater bias. This typically occurs with subjective tests with open-ended responses that require a judgment on the part of the teachers to determine correct and incorrect answer. Objective tests, in contrast, have predetermined fixed responses, a format which of course increases their test reliability. Now, let's have a quick check about 5 types of reliability we have just learned. Alright, we have student-related reliability, inter-rater reliability, intra-rater reliability, test administration reliability, and test reliability. The next principle of assessment is validity, which means measuring what should be measured. By far, the most complex criterion of an effective test, and arguably the most important principle, is validity. How is the validity of a test established? According to Well in 2005, Rothfuss in 2005, and T. McNamara in 2006, there is no final absolute measure of validity, but several different kinds of evidence may be invoked in support. Moreover, as Music in 1989 emphasized, it is important to note that validity is a matter of degree, not all or none. In some cases, it may be appropriate to examine the extent to which a test calls for performance that matches that of the course or unit being tested. In other cases, we may be concerned with how well a test determines whether students have reached an established set of goals or levels of competence. Others concerned about test validity may focus on the consequences of a test beyond measuring the criteria themselves, or even on the test taker's perception of validity. We now look at 5 types of evidence below: content-related evidence, criterion-related evidence, construct-related evidence, consequential or impact validity, and finally, phase validity. Content-related evidence represent the whole material taught before so that the student can draw conclusions from the materials. You can usually identify content-related evidence observationally if you can clearly define the achievement that you are measuring. Criterion-related evidence is best demonstrated through a comparison of results of an assessment with results of some other measure on the same criterion. There are 2 categories of criterion-related evidence, namely concurrent validity and predictive validity. A test has concurrent validity if its results are supported by other concurrent performance beyond the assessment itself. For example, the validity of a high score on the final exam of a foreign language course will be substantiated by actual proficiency in the language. The predictive validity of an assessment becomes important in case of placement tests, admission assessment battery, and achievement tests designed to determine student readiness to move on to another unit. A third kind of evidence that can be support validity, but one that does not play as large a role for classroom teachers, is construct-related validity, commonly referred to as construct validity. A construct is any theory, hypothesis, or model that attempts to explain observed phenomena in our universe of perceptions. Construct may or may not be directly or empirically measured. Their verifications often require inferential data. Proficiency, communicative competence, and fluency are examples of linguistic constructs. Meanwhile, self-esteem, motivation are psychological constructs. Consequential validity or impact. Consequential validity encompasses all the consequences of a test, including such consideration as its accuracy in measuring intended criteria, its impact on the preparation of test taker, its effect on the learners, and the social sequences of a test interpretation in use. Bachman and Palmer in 1996, McKay in 2000, Davies in 2003, and Choice in 2008 use the term impact to refer to consequential validity, perhaps more broadly encompassing the many consequences of assessment before and after a test administration. The impact of test taking and the use of test scores can, according to Bachman and Palmer, be seen at both a macro level, the effects on society and educational system, and a micro level, the effects on individual test taker. A further basis of consequential validity is the extent to which students view the assessment as fair, relevant, and useful for improving learning, according to Grondins in 1998, or what has popularly been called or misnamed phase validity. Phase validity refers to the degree to which a test looks right and appears to measure the knowledge or ability it claims to measure, based on the subjective judgment of the examinees who take it, the administrative personnel who decide on its use, and other psychometrically unsophisticated observers, according to Mosevi in 2009. Now, let's have a quick check about 5 types of validity we have just covered. Alright, Here is the answer key for this quick check. The blanks are content related, criterion related, consequential, and phase. The fourth major principle is authenticity, which means the degree or correspondence of the characteristic of a given language test task to the features of a target language. In a test, authenticity may be presented in the following ways. An authentic test contains language that is as natural as possible, has items that are contextualized rather than isolated, include meaningful, relevant, interesting topics, provide some thematic organization to items such as through a storyline or episode, offer tasks that replicate real-world tasks. Last but not least, the fifth principle is watchback, which referred to as the effect of testing on teaching and learning, or the effect tests have on instruction in terms of how students prepare for the test. There are three components in watchback, which are participants, processes, and product. Regarding watchback, there are two types of watchback, namely positive and negative watchback. If a test has positive watchback, there is no difference between teaching the curriculums and teaching to the test. Whereas, if a test has negative watchback, there is a mismatch between the stated goal of instruction and the focus of assessment and may lead to the abandonment of instructional goals in favor of test preparation. So far, we have covered 5 fundamental principles of language assessment, which are practicality, reliability, validity, authenticity, and watchback. Thank you for your participation. This is the end of the first mini lectures in Module 2.